So the recording has begun. So I'll start by going briefly through the agenda of today. So in the beginning, we will have a brief outline of the activities of EuroHPC Greece, the National Competence Center, and how this initiative can be useful to you. Then we'll have the main dish of the day with the presentation of the FF4EuroHPC initiative and the specifics of this second open call. Right after, we will have the opportunity for questions regarding the call. And we will continue with the presentation of EuroHPC joint undertaking. This is the European entity who coordinates all HPC-related activities in Europe. We'll have an overview of the European resources and services that will soon be available for the European industry. Finally, we'll have the opportunity to listen to real examples and success stories of experiments that have actually taken place in previous calls. One in the engineering domain, a project that has already been completed actually, and its impact, its industrial impact is ready to be presented. And one in the biomedical domain that has actually recently been approved in the previous call of January, and has recently started. So let's have a brief presentation of our National Competence Center. I will start with the mission statement. So EuroHPC Greece aims to be the single point of contact and coordination on a national level for HPC. The missions are to analyze, implement, and coordinate all necessary activities and offer services to end users, from access to resources and technological consultancy to the provision of training courses for academia, public administration, and industry. Actually, EuroHPC Greece is run by 5 institutions, and what I'm presenting today is the result of a collective work. The consortium is coordinated actually by GRNet. GRNet is the entity who actually is the owner of the national HPC infrastructure in Greece, the supercomputer Ilias, and is also the National Praise Training Center for HPC. And then the consortium is a strong network consisted by universities, technological institutions, as you see here, research institutions, and very important, a network of business hubs, an incubator, a technology transfer office, an innovation hub, and a network of thematic clusters. And this is very important because one of our main ambitions is the increase of HPC uptake by the Greek industry. Because actually, in the current situation, despite a significant usage of HPC resources by the academic and the research community, the industrial usage is rather poor, and we intend to change the situation. So our activities are related to 4 main pillars: training, competence mapping, collaboration with industry, and dissemination. Everything is being managed in a coordinated way and in cooperation and interaction with all the relevant public and private, national and international stakeholders. So what we offer, first of all, is training. Training is the most important entry point for accessing HPC resources. All users, that's what they tell us. So we have given the emphasis since the beginning to gather and present in the friendliest possible way the most relevant available training sources and opportunities in Greece and in Europe generally. So first of all, we have proceeded with a training mapping, which has concluded to a searchable repository, a training in Greece repository in all HPC related fields, in which through keywords or through filtering by domain, by course type, by institution, or sorting with multiple criteria, the interested user can find all kinds of relevant trainings in Greece. Actually, we have identified 421 relevant training programs These are mainly bachelor degree or master's degree, and a few summer schools, webinars, and also HPC specialized courses. Then in the website, you can find a collection of video lectures on HPC related topics. These lectures are coming from all sorts of training providers, from universities, HPC centers, vendors. The added value is that they are checked and they are approved by us as being very useful for users. Then on the side, you have also a section where you can discover upcoming training events all over Europe, delivered by praised training centers, by HPC centers, by centers of excellence. Then there is a section in which you can discover all kinds of training resources, online material, presentations, white papers. And there is a section that leads to all scientific publications coming from researchers and scientists in Greece that have actually used the Ares supercomputer infrastructure during the last years. And last but certainly not least, the most official training there is today on HPC in Greece is delivered by GRNet, by GRNet's role as an official praised training center. GRNet has been organizing this kind of trainings in this field for years now. These trainings cover both skills in HPC technologies, but also domain-specific specialized knowledge. The training sessions are held more or less every 2 months. They are hands-on. And of course, in the last couple of years, they are held online, so anyone can attend from anywhere. The language is English. And the topics in detail are, for the moment, introduction to parallel programming, GPU programming using CUDA, effective use of HPC systems, introduction to biomolecular modeling in HPC, machine learning in HPC, meteorological and climate modeling, and the list is about to be enlarged in the following years. At the same time, we ran a questionnaire, a survey, it's anonymous, to identify training needs. So in fact, we welcome you to fill it out in a few minutes. It will be a significant help for us in designing our next actions. It's about needs for training, I repeat, and you can find the questionnaire in the training area of the website. Now, in the competence mapping front, we are in the phase of running our overall competence needs and skills survey for all sectors, SMEs, academy, public sector, HPC users, providers, with different questions actually for each sector. This survey is very important to us. We already have a critical mass of answers, but we need much more in order to have a clear view of the current situation, the current status of the various needs and the existing skills. So please go to our site and fill it in. It's on the front page. And this survey also is very important to us. Then, of course, our main goal is to boost innovative SMEs for a more efficient uptake of HPC. In order to do that, we are building a service portfolio. For the moment, we're providing consultation on access to resources, on funding, on technology, and in this context, we are also providing in the context of facilitating access to funding and resources, and the context to facilitate collaborations between business and academy. We are organizing short events like this one. Actually, this is the second one. The first was addressed to the life sciences domain, together with our partner, the Business Network Praxi, and the two relevant clusters of innovative SMEs in the domain, the Hellenic Bio Cluster and the Hellenic Digital Health Cluster. There was a representation of ComBiomed, the ComBiomed Center of Excellence, What we did was to match together industrial users, startups, researchers, and HPC experts to share experiences, knowledge, best practices, and we also delivered training for basic notions of HPC. Then one more activity is to stimulate Greek SMEs to participate in consortia for access to funding, for instance, with this one, for instance, with the FF4EuroHPC initiative. And actually, in the first call on January, we managed to stimulate the submission of 3 proposals, out of which 2 were successful. One for a cancer drug accuracy and one for a pediatric simulated dosimetry for clinical use. Actually, the second one will be presented today. We'll come to this later. Finally, we're building a professionals hub, an online registry. This will act, we hope, as a marketplace where HPC experts, vendors, service providers, they can enter a description of their expertise or services, and potential users can search and find them via filters and keywords. This is still under construction, and we hope that in the next couple of months it will be available. Finally, regarding our activities for awareness and dissemination, we encourage you to visit our website. You will find a lot of useful information there. We encourage you to visit our social media channels, Twitter and LinkedIn. We encourage you by all means to subscribe to our newsletter. By subscribing, you become a recipient of the newsletter, which is published approximately every 2 months. So there's no spamming. But at the same time, you get to receive invitations to this kind of short events, always short because we know how time is precious for SMEs. They're addressed to researchers and innovative SMEs. Last, I will repeat how important it is for us that you fill in the needs and skills survey. And with this, I want to thank you.